Hello everybody, we are here at Gallifrey 2019, 30 years in the TARDIS, and we're going to do things a little bit differently with our overview videos. And instead of breaking it all up into little segments and things like that, we're actually just going to kind of do this live YouTube thing, take you for a walk around and show you a little bit of what the show is, talk about it. Obviously, we'll have much more on it over at our podcast, The Parks and Cons, and we'll talk about that as we go as well. So this convention, this is kind of the center of the Doctor Who universe. We're outside here at the LAX Marriott. This is a show we've attended since 2012 and have really enjoyed it. And we kind of had a reverse introduction into Doctor Who. We came to the convention before we were actually really watching the show. So a very kind of opposite, I think, of what most people do. But we loved it. We kind of fell in love with just how they did things here, the fandom, all of that, and have just been into the show and loving it ever since. The show itself sells out always pretty immediately. So if you're planning for 2019, for 2020, tickets will go on sale in April. We'll talk about that at the end of the show, but they always sell out really within a day or two at most. $110 for a weekend pass in this year, and well worth it with really entertainment around the clock. We're currently in the outside area. You can see everybody gathering out here, lots of food trucks. Or I shouldn't say lots of, but 3 food trucks a day, as well as other food. We're going to make our way into the convention. One thing as kind of talk about just the show itself is they are really big on communication here. And so even to the extent of communicating like the hours that the food trucks were here, some of the types of foods they'd be serving and things like that as well, all included in communications pre-con, which is really pretty awesome here. Making our way into the convention center area here in the underneath area. This is program room A. This is where all of the big panels take place throughout the weekend, starting with the launch party last night. Now, one thing here, we will not be doing any video inside any of the program rooms because simply it's not allowed here. They have a very strong policy on no video at all. Nothing, not even a little 2-second snippet. So we won't be going into the panel rooms and doing any video. But if we look at like an example for program A on Friday, you can see the day packed with panels all the way going to wrapping up with Mysterious Theater 337, The Ark at 10:30 at night. Some of the guests this time around at the con, they've got Catherine Tate, Colin Baker, William Russell, Carol Ann Ford, Nicola Bryant, Fraser Hines, John Barrowman, Rachel Talalay, Ben Wheatley. They even have a whole big Babylon 5 anniversary going on this year. Bruce Boxleitner's here, as well as Walter Koenig. So lots of stuff celebrated in addition to Doctor Who, although the Whoverse definitely at the core of all things here. We actually attended a really fun panel this morning. Legendary Pictures has a comic branch, which I didn't even realize was a thing, but they were here promoting Legendary comics. So like Godzilla, Pacific Rim, things of that nature. And so that was really fun to see, and John Barrowman was a part of that, plugging his new comic, Accrusia, which is really cool and available on web comics. But he, as John Barrowman, if you're familiar, just kind of took over the panel, was a ton of fun, and shared all sorts of cool things about that. We'll talk more about details of all these things on the podcast. Now into the exhibit hall. And the exhibit hall really is packed pretty much non-stop in those first hours of the con. The floor opened here at 11 today. We've got Titan Comics over here. Jody Hauser is here as well, signing her comic, her exclusive cover and things like that. Lots of Big Finish and toys all available for sale. It's kind of a good mix of t-shirts, toys, autographs. Bought Cybermen ornament earlier. To take a look at Titan Comics there, variant covers there we picked up earlier, which were super cool. It's fun stuff. They do exclusive t-shirts, tote bags at the con as well. Not Titan Comics, but Gallifrey 1. So it is the type of show where you can expect to find exclusive items as well, which is kind of a nice little mix into things. TribblesToys.com. It's fun with their claw machine to win a Tribble. Obviously, photo ops all over the place. Space Command is here with Mark Scott Zickery. They're going to be actually doing a showing of their pilot. Have a bunch of talent on hand to share. Over here, we've got the Girl Scouts with, it looks like, a weeping Girl Scout angel.
Would you come back next week? So it's like you can just because he doesn't.
Katie Manning is signing. Lance Parkin. Some beautiful illustrations, posters here from Stuart Manning. We have found over the years that the floor is packed with fun stuff. And most of it goes pretty fast. A lot of the vendors, when they're packing up on Sunday, are pretty thin on the offerings they have. And if they have much left, especially in the area of toys, they are selling them pretty cheap on Sunday. But we don't usually wait, because if we see something we want, kind of can know it's not going to be there by the close of business on Sunday.
I knew he cut the long hair.
Yeah, no, he didn't cut it like really short and skin like this.
No, I never said that. He said that. No, I did it.
Over here, tons of 8x10s, as well as all sorts of fun figures, Eagle Moss, Funko Pops.
Sorry.
They have coffee service in the middle of the day or something to do.
Well, there's that Indian that's Celestial. Oh, my back of the chair.
Caitlin Blackwood, Nicola Bryant signing. Rusty Goff. So, one of the really unique things about the con as well is the coffee clutches, which is something we had never heard of, honestly, until we started attending Gallifrey 1. Here they have signups and information on them, but these are really intimate gatherings where it is 12 attendees and the guest of honor, and it's just these really small conversations, which are pretty fantastic. Definitely a way to get up close with the talent, and this show definitely celebrates just as much, if not more, of the behind the scenes, from the writing, directing, effects, etc. of the show. And so you're not just dealing with the in front of the camera talent, and you can get inside their heads a little bit and be able to talk to them. They also have an art show, not allowed to do video in there, but they do some cool stuff. There's a charity auction, and then the video room, which, as little as that may sound, is always a fun thing to us, where you can just go and hang out and watch Doctor Who or Class or Torchwood episodes and hang out. Along with, down here, we've got all sorts of photo ops going on and things like that. So lots of fun things around there. One thing is, we're heading around now, not seeing a lot of cosplay out and about currently. I mean, I should say relatively speaking, because we're definitely seeing cosplay, but not to the level that there will be probably by the time we get into the evening. But there's just all sorts of Daleks and K9 and Weeping Angels and Cybermen, and really celebrating all the years of Doctor Who. It's kind of a non-stop thing here that you're passing by and having these photo ops. Obviously, they've got some backdrops over here where you can take your photos. This morning when we got here, at K9 and Dalek were posing together and yeah, showing off all their work there in the cool cosplay photo shoot. So hopefully this gives a little bit of an idea of the show if you've not been able to attend, and a bit of what it's all about. We really do enjoy it. It's one of the very few shows that we actually stay at the hotel, and it's just awesome to take the elevator just straight up to the room and back down. They have some pretty affordable room rates there if you're able to get in, although it's not the easiest thing to secure one of those hotel rooms, but if you are able to, a good price there, all things considered, for the convenience factor of it. It really is around the clock. I mean, between the video room and the karaoke and ice cream social and everything else, comedy shows, all sorts of things, masquerade, it is really around the clock that you have entertainment, and it's all pretty fantastic, and we enjoy it a lot. Definitely the con is more about connecting with people than it is anything else, as much as they celebrate all of the talent from the Doctor Who world. It feels like a lot of what the show's about is just kind of hanging out with friends and having a good time, and taking a break from the real world to live in the Hooverse. So with that said, the next version of the show is 31 Flavors of Gallifrey 1. It's February 14th to the 16th, 2020. So if interested in that, definitely keep an eye out. Tickets are said to go on sale in April. They will sell out pretty much immediately. I know we'll be at our computer screen refreshing and waiting to grab some tickets. So I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up here. We will talk more about some of our experiences here over on our podcast. You can find it at Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, anywhere else you should be able to find podcasts. We should be there as well as lots of stuff on social media throughout the weekend. Find them all at Parks and Cons. So wrapping up here from Gallifrey 1, 30 years in the TARDIS. Until next time, we'll see you in line somewhere.